what comes after contrast? Well, it's the breakdown. Okay, so let's just quickly go ahead and put a breakdown between these two. So I just shifted the keys and go into Tween Machine. Let me just quickly save this so that I don't. So now we're going to do our breakdown. Now you can either do it my way or you can do it Dan's way from the advanced blocking method. So just to simplify things, let's just do it the way that we do it, so the checklist way. Just do one simple breakdown. Now, again, a lot of you guys get they overcomplicate it and they get confused about the breakdowns. He's just going linear like this. Look, you don't know what to look at? Then just squint your eyes and kind of just look at the overall silhouette. You can see that it's just going straight. Nothing is happening. So I'm just going to grab this and this and this. And again, just like when we talked about with your posing, with your breakdowns, between A and B, just go somewhere else. So you could either go down. Now I'm just doing this crudely, but you could do this, right? Or we could go in the opposite direction, maybe go up. Right? So both would work if we just simplify the movement. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and make a simple in the middle breakdown. Okay? And I'm just going to focus on the hips first, right? So he's here. It's going to go a bit down. Just want to get a nice arc. Oops, I moved the camera. Okay, so he's over here. I want him to go down. Right? Now, in terms of his chest, I want him to do this. Right? Just adding all the information I can, and then make this part here kind of not be so linear. You see how it's just linear, like it's all going in the same spacing? So let's just do something to just make it a bit more interesting. Okay, let's keep going. And the overlap that happens on the head. Okay. Arm is starting to go up more. And that. Neck could be going down a bit more. So let's just play that back. Yeah. Okay, so you see now overall this is working a lot better, right? So this is the next stage now. So this is how you would have taken that very first step. So we took the very first part. We did the checklist, right? And we saw, like, in the first 10 minutes, we put together something. That's what I expect you guys to do. That's what I expect you guys to use it for. We're not using it so that you finish the animation that way. I used it to just quickly rough it out. Now, what I went in and did after that was started to play around with the timing, push things around, and kind of make it work based on how I imagine it, right? So you also need to trust your own instincts, your own kind of vision to a certain extent. Now, what I'm going to do next is focus on the different parts. So I spoke about this before with the whole polish thing where, we start with the hips, go to the spine, go to the head, arms. You always go with what is first, right? So let's go ahead and do that now. So I'm going to check first what's going on with the hips. Again, there are different ways to do it. You could look at the square. You could just eyeball the entire thing. That's what I tend to do. Some people use arcs, which I'm not a big fan of because that's kind of an extra delay to what you need to do. So I would just basically just look at it, kind of see what's happening. So I could see here, it's kind of like not moving as much as I wanted it to, because then it starts to go backwards. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, using Alt and the arrow keys, I'm just going to nudge it forward just so that it has a bit of that. You know, just a tiny bit, and then it kind of goes down, and then here it kind of stops moving backwards. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to make him go as back initially, so that he has more room to go back here. And then here I'm going to nudge him forward a bit so he has a bit more room to go forward. And then here I'm going to nudge him up a bit so that he has a bit more to come down. And then here we need to make it feel a bit more. And then now he's going to settle, so we're going to... If we look at this now, so using this approach, okay, this is why it's important to use this. If, let's say, the director said, could you please change pose, you know, this pose, right? It's not the best thing because he would have seen it before. But let's say he's like not happy with how this breakdown kind of goes a bit too much down here. This is easy to fix because all we have to do is change these two poses, and then in addition change the ease in and out. So if we go here, for example, so I'm just going to save this. Right, so let's say he doesn't like this, and we're going to need to make a new breakdown. Very simple, because it's a new, you know, let's say maybe he wanted us to bring it like this way from across his body. You know, from here. And let's say we go there. So it needs to be tweaked, but you could see like within 2 minutes we changed the breakdown.